Hello, good morning everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm just here to show you guys show you guys my patio, the plants that I started, that I put outside on the patio already. This right here is a shade planter that I created. It's a pretty large planter. It's about 20 inches wide. Um, so I created this with all just shade perennials. As you know, perennials are flowers, are plants that come back each year, so they perennialize, and so that means they'll come back for at least 2 or more years. Some come back indefinitely, as long as probably like 50 years. But um, this is a lime green hosta that I purchased from Walmart. I only paid about $3 for this hosta, $3 or $4, and this is a plant. You can see I have a kind of like a wart right there on my finger, and that's from me using my wheelchair and my hands scrape against the wheel and like constantly doing that. So I need some gloves for my wheelchair, but that's besides the point. And then I have this heuchera. Like I said, I created this for all perennials, so they all will come back each year. This is a heuchera called Midnight Rose. As you can see, it's really pretty, kind of like purple with the pink splashes on it. And I purchased this from my local garden center called Pike's Nursery, which is the best garden center in the world, in my opinion. This is another heuchera I have, which is called Mahogany Monster. Mahogany Monster is a heuchera by Proven Winners. I've had both of these hostas. I'm not hostas, but heucheras. I've had both of these heucheras for over. I got them last spring, and they during the Christmas freeze, they both died all the way back. Like all the leaves died. They like it was completely like there was nothing there. But I just watered them and fertilized them, and they in this short time they've all come back full and better. This right here I have in the center is a foxglove. A foxglove, something that I started from seed about two and a half months ago. That I started from seed inside. That is one of the foxgloves that bloom in the same year. So this is either a Dalmatian peach, and I can't think of the other variety, but I started those from seeds. This is here in the back is a Solomon seal. This Solomon seal is a variegated Solomon seal, which I brought from Pike's Nursery. I paid $16.99 for it from Pike's Nursery. And this right here is a hellebore that I included in here. And I don't remember the name of it. It's one of the wedding party series hellebore. So I think it's the one of the brides, bridal shower, something like that. And behind it there is a camellia that blooms pink, like these huge pink blooms. You can see it has all of the new growth on it. The really shiny light green new growth. Then you can see the dark old growth is darker. But I haven't even put it in a pot yet. It's still in the nursery container. But it's getting really big. And also up here, this is a hanging basket that I created with perennials in it. It has I'm trying to do more things with perennials in it that flower, so I don't have to buy as many flowers or plants, so that when we do move into our house, which will probably be this summer or in the fall, I have a lot of perennials I can just put in the ground. And this is a begonia, which is called Bossa Nova. Let me lay it on my leg so I can focus. It's called Bossa Nova Pure White Begonia. It's a proven selections to proven winners. This begonia is part shade to shade. It grows about 12 to 16 inches high, and you probably won't be able to see this because it's so small, but I'll read it out. This is zones. Is annual except in zone 7 through 10. So, being that we're in a 7B here in Atlanta, this part of Atlanta, North Georgia, 7B, 8A, it'll be a perennial for me. And the fern is another proven selections fern, which is called Kimberly Queen. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. I had to stop abruptly to go get my pot pie in the oven. But just a quick scan of my patio. It's junky right now because I'm planning up stuff, but I'm gonna go over everything that I have out here in this video. So back to what I was talking about. And you guys, when I put the camera down, it's because I'm rolling. You know, I'm in a wheelchair, so I can only use my two hands to roll with. But I was talking about this planter, I believe. And I had went on to the one that I have up here, which is the perennial hanging basket that I started, which had, like I said, it has the Bossa Nova fern. The Bossa Nova begonia, which is perennial here in our area, cause it's perennial from 7 to 11 zones. And then I have the sword fern, which is also from Proven Winners. The sword fern is Proven Selections. It's the Kimberly Queen Australian fern, and it gets about 24 to 36 inches. So to get much bigger than that basket, so I have to end up taking it out of there and putting it in something larger once it grows up. And this is perennial in zones 9A to 11. So that one I'll have to take inside to keep it from dying. And like I said, behind that I have my camellia. And this is a camellia that I purchased. I actually have two of these. I have one out front, and then I have this one right here that is still in the nursery pot. I haven't even potted it up yet because I'm just waiting to find the right pot. I'll keep stuff in the pot till I find a pot that I really love. But it you can see all of the lime colored our brighter colored leaves. That's all new growth since the spring. It has really like these huge pink double blooms on it, and all those darker leaves, those are the adult grown leaves. So I love that camellia. It's called the Jack's camellia, and I think it gets about 6 feet tall and wide. This is a spider web fascia japonica. It's a fascia from the Southern Living plant collection, and I purchased this for about $50 from my local Pikes. And as you can see, it's still in the nursery container as well because I have not yet found a pot that I'm going to put it in. And that's a tomato that I started from seed, which is one of the Cherry Falls tomatoes. I haven't not yet planted that up, but I have planted this larger, which has grown up pretty big. This tomato right here, which is a Cherry Falls, and as you can see, it already has like a lot of all over it. Has a lot of tomato buds, where all these are going to turn into tomatoes. They're like the Cherry Falls is as you can see, it drapes down, so that's what I mean by the fall. See all the tomatoes that's coming, like it's a ton of them all over this plant. And that Cherry Falls is one that I started from seed along with the other one, and it's a like a small red cherry tomato. And then also I have a tomato right here, which is called the Sweet 100. The Sweet 100 is a tomato that I started from seed as well, and you're supposed to be able to get at least 100 cherry tomatoes off of this during the season. All of the plant, and it right there, you can see it already has some tomato flowers starting. And all these I started from seed. I started like 2 or 3, and I'll give them away to my neighbors or Some of my neighbors like want to buy them. I charge them like $2 or $3 for them. I have like tons of neighbors that are like, when the plant's gonna be ready, I want some flowers, buy some flowers from you, and I normally end up just giving them away because I can't use them all, so I rather give something away than actually sell something to someone that I can give away because they're my neighbors. And this is another hellebore that I have right here, which you can see it has really pretty blooms on it. This had aphids on it, and I did spray it down with some spray that I have right there called Mitex. It kills aphids and thrips and spider mites, and it's really good. So I sprayed this down. I just see some dead aphids on. I don't see any alive aphids. I never even seen aphids on a hellebore before. But this hellebore is called Pink Frost Lenten Rose. And I purchased it for $19.98 from Lowe's. And if you know anything about hellebores, you know that they're normally really, really expensive. But now, a lot of the big box stores this year I've seen have been carrying them. Because most of them, like this hellebore I have right here, that hellebore I paid probably about $30 from $25 to $30. I purchased it from the local nursery, Pikes. So when I see those for $14 to $19.99, I had to get me a couple. This is a Calla Lily that I purchased. I have two of these. You can see it has like the dark purple. This one right here, either this one or the other one, I have two different kind of color blooms on it. But this a calla, the way you keep the callas alive and doing well is you keep them root bound in a pot. So you would keep this in like a really small pot like this, and you just submerge it in water. I keep mine because it's what's considered a bog plant, so I just keep it submerged down in water, and they'll do really good because you can't let them dry out. So if you just keep them like in a thing of water, and they'll do really well. These right here are some violas that I purchased, I think like in November. So they survived through all the colds, the snow, and all of that. And I took them out of the pot that I had them in because I used it for something else. So I have these set right here. So I'm gonna plant them up and put them in a pot of their own. And then I have another hellebore back here that I still have not planted up. This hellebore is called Maid of Honor. This is the plant tag for it right here. So this is how the blooms look. So this is a really pretty hellebore, and this is all the specs on it. It withstand hardy down to -20. Pink blooms in spring, shade to partial sun. And then these are some other little small seedlings that I have right here. Those are collard greens. Some collard greens I started from seed, which are called Georgia collards. I got those seeds from Baker's Creek, and I I had put some out already, but it was cold and it got hot, so they went to flower, so they no longer any good. So I'm gonna plant those out in their place. And then I have right there some caladiums that I had purchased last year, and I just kept the bulbs and I replanted them into those pots, so they started growing. I have some more that are much bigger. And then this is a succulent container that I started about last year, and when it gets down to freezing temperatures, I just bring it inside, and keep it under my grow lights. And as you can see, I purchased all of those succulents that are in here. I purchased all of these from online from Mountain Crest. And that one in the middle right there, which is called Black something, I purchased that from Pike's Nursery, and so it's doing really good. I have it acclimating back to being outside. Then I'm gonna put it out front, and then I have this little small planter that I created yesterday, which is lemon coral. It's a sedum, and it's actually a perennial in our area here in Atlanta. It'll come back every year. It's a perennial, and it's on 7A to 11B. So that will come back every year. And this is another some Gara. It's called Gara that I planted up actually last night. I put it in this pot, and it is called Beliza Dark Pink. So that's a Gara that I actually planted up. And then over here I have on this stand, I'm sorry about my thumb. On this stand I have some cuttings that I made from some plants, like usually like these vining plants, like they're like $4, $5, $6 a piece. So what I do is in the wintertime I'll go out and I'll cut pieces off all of those, and I'll just root them into. So I have a lot more of these. I placed them all like around my little garden and all in the pots and everything. These are just the ones I haven't not yet planted. And so what I'll do is I'll just take a piece off and cut it off and put it in some dirt or some water and root it out. And then that way, like this year I have maybe like 5 of these. It's some type of Swedish ivy, I think. And so I just propagate it. And then right here, that's the begonia, a pink angel wing begonia. It's the angel wing begonia by Proven Winner. I took a cutting off of that as well, and I rooted that into, over the winter time, I rooted that into its own pot, and then I just brought it back outside. And right here, I have a begonia, which is a type of Rex begonia. It's from Proven Winners. I can't think of the name of it just right now, but it's put on all this new growth since I brought it back outside. And so it's doing really, really good. And that keeps me from buying extra plants. Right here inside of that pot, I have a type of cactus, and I'm growing that cactus from seed. I mean, I grew this cactus from a cut-in. You can see like where it's getting, actually right there. It's getting a new one on there. So I have a whole bunch of these that I propagate and grew from like one cactus that I have. This is another type of Plectranthus, which is I can't think specifically of the name of it just yet right now, but I propagated that one as well, and I have them. I'll show you another place. I have them in my own window boxes. So that's from last. Then this is right here, propagated from another coleus that I had kept from last year. So I had another one that I put outside too early, and it got killed by the cold. So I put it outside too early. This right here is another plant that I propagated. It's a hanging plant. It's like a strawberry begonia, I believe, because they have the strawberry shaped leaves. And this is another plant that I started from a cutting. I'll show you the mother plant. This is a ivy, a sweet ivy vine that I have. That I've had that for about a year. I cut it off of another ivy that I had that was dying, and I just rooted it out and put it in this pot, and now it's growing back on its own. And this is a asparagus fern that I have. This asparagus fern I've had for over a year now. So I brought that back outside when it was cold, once it warmed up. And then you might not be able to see it as well because the sun is bright. But these are some heucheras that I have in my window box. These I had over an entire winter. These are some live green color heucheras from Proven Winners. I can't think of the name of them right offhand, but they've got really big. When I purchased them, oh no, they're called Lemon Love. They're not from Proven Winners, but they're called Lemon Love. And there's the tab right there. I don't know if you can see that. But in the center there is a kale that's grown really, really tall. It's about to start flowering. So I'll be taking it out soon. I'm going to take those heucheras out as well, and I'm going to put those into one of those pots, a large pot by themselves. And then right here, that's the this is the mother plant, the strawberry begonia plant that I actually propagated this one off of. But I have like 2 or 3 of these that I propagated. All I did was, see those little parts that are dangling down off of it? I just popped those off and planted them into a pot, and they're growing. So right here, let me show you my window boxes that I just recently planted up. Right here, those are some begonias that that I started from seed. Some marigolds, some orange. These are from Baker's Creek. They're like a huge. They're called Hawaii orange marigolds. I started these from seed. They're doing really, really well. I have a whole bunch more of these, but I just put those outside right there so I can harden those out there so they can get some light. But this is my planter, the window boxes that I just recently potted. And the plants I have in here, that first one right there, that's this one right here is a salvia, which is like a red color, like more like a salmon color, I think, that I started from seed. These are some zinnias, which those zinnias are called Aztec something. I started those from seed. They're like the really little small short carpet zinnias. And then you can see that plant right, it's kind of hard for me to show it, this plant right here, which is one of these plants right there. I planted those in the window boxes I started from, rooted from cuttings from one plant that I purchased last year. And this plant right here is a dahlia that I purchased from Burpee. I purchased 4 of them. I put 2 of them in this window, each side of the window box. And that dahlia, it has a dark foliage on it, but it'll bloom like a pink color. It'll bloom like a single pink color. And then this plant right here is I'll come back to the name of it, but I put those 2 here in the window boxes. They bloom like a pink color. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I used to have all of my tags. I used to plant all of my tags right here in the right here in, because I know I'll forget the name of them. I'll remember the name in a moment. But and then beside that, if you can see right there, I planted some petunias. Those petunias are called Picasso and Purple from Proven Winners. I planted those in there. Then right here, I don't know if you can see it that well. Let's see. a sweet potato vine. I'm trying to find a tag for it. You see, that's a sweet potato vine that I have, which is called Medusa. And then in the other window box, I have the same plant. I have right here a plant that I started from seed, which is a hollyhock. It's one of the short hollyhocks that don't get that tall. It's like a peach color, so I put those in there. Those are the holly. I put one on each side, and I started those hollyhocks from seed as well. So yeah, those are all of my plants that I have so far on my patio. I have hundreds more inside of my plant studio that are all under lights. But those are just a few. I do have to clean up the patio since I'm pretty much done planting stuff out here for right now. Of course, I'll be adding stuff all summer long. But like I have that bag with there of potting mix. That's the black gold potting mix. I really only I prefer to use either this one, the black gold, or the proven winners potting mix. Those are the two primary potting mixes that I'll use. And most things I normally fertilize with plant tone. So I'll put biotone or plant tone are the two main organic fertilizers that I use to fertilize everything here on my patio and in my garden out front. I'll do another video at a later time showing that particular garden. Yeah, so that is everything. I just wanted to show everyone the plants, the pretty plants that I had so far on my patio. And thank you so much, and everyone have a wonderful day, a great Sunday, and give God all the glory. Thanks.